This recipe for brown and served potato rolls begins as a shelf-stable mix that you just add water to. Then you can mix it up, let it rise, shape the rolls. Then you can par-bake these and freeze them until you're ready for them. They go straight from the freezer to the oven, no need to thaw, and in just 10 minutes, you'll have fresh, piping hot homemade rolls. They're tender and moist, slightly sweet, and oh so delicious. Well, hi there everyone. My name is Kareth. I'm a wife, a mom, an author, and a cook. On this channel, I like to create recipes using freeze-dried food. Sometimes it's completely shelf-stable, like a meal or a mix in a jar. Other times, I combine freeze-dried with fresh, but all the time, it's delicious. I'm here to help people who have freeze-dried food on their shelves to know how to cook with it. I test out recipes so you don't have to. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. If you have never had potato rolls, you are in for a treat. These are so delicious. When you replace some of the flour in a bread recipe with mashed potato flakes, they are really able to hold onto the moisture, so it gives you a roll that is super tender and very moist. Now, I have a recipe on my channel already for a potato bread recipe, but it did not have yeast in it. It was just like baking soda, baking powder. I used it for cinnamon rolls. Now, I'll link to that below, but this one has yeast in it. So it's a traditional yeast roll recipe with the addition of the mashed potato flakes. And y'all, this is so good. I'll put a list up on the screen of the ingredients you'll need to make this, and I'll write the full recipe with the exact measurements down in the description box below this video. Whenever you're ready to make this, you'll need to get out a bowl and start with some mashed potato flakes and then add to it some flour. Now, the recipe I'm showing you today is going to yield about 10 or 12 rolls, so just one pan of rolls. But you could definitely double this recipe, triple it, quadruple it, like whatever you need, you can do. Just adjust the size of the jar that you store it in. So I'm including some sugar, some scrambled egg mix, some butter powder that gives it great flavor. I've got some salt going in here, and then I'm going to add the yeast, okay? So here's the deal. If you know that you're gonna make this really soon after you put this jar together, then you can put the yeast directly in it like I'm doing. I've never had any trouble with that, but I always make this pretty soon after I make the mix. If you think you're gonna store it for a few months and not make it, then I would put that yeast in a little baggie and keep it separated from the rest of the mix until you're ready to make it. And the reason is yeast can be activated if it hits something like sugar, something to react with it. So if I were you, I would just keep that yeast separated, and then when you're ready to make it, you can add it in. But since I was going to make this right away, I just put it on in the mix. And you do need to add some fat. So I am using lard, but you could definitely use shortening if you prefer that. And then you'll need to get in there with either a pastry blender like I have here, or with a fork, or you could of course use your hands here. But you want to make sure that fat gets really well distributed throughout this mix. And this is just one of the things that makes these rolls so delicious, is they have the fat in the mix. All right, then you can store this in a jar. I've got a 3-cup jar there. That's a 24-ounce jar. But a lot of people, they don't have those jars. I just got lucky and I have a bunch of them. But if you don't have those, then just store this in a quart-sized jar. And you could store the little baggie of yeast at the top. All right, whenever you're ready to make this, you're going to need to empty out the contents of the jar into a bowl and then add warm water. Your water needs to be somewhere between 110 degrees and 115 degrees F. That's what you're looking for. That's going to activate that yeast. And then you just need to mix this up. I've got a Danish dough whisk that I got on Amazon. I'll link to that in my store because I really like that whisk. I think it does just such a great job of incorporating those ingredients together. I really like it. All right, so what you'll need to do is go ahead and get your hands in there. And because it's got the potato flakes, they need to be really well hydrated. So you're going to just start to punch down that dough and get a feel for it. Mine felt a little too sticky. Like, you should have a dough that is tacky but not sticky. Like, it shouldn't be sticking to your hands. It shouldn't be sticking to the bottom of the bowl. If it does, just add another tablespoon or 2 of flour. At that point, I had added 1 tablespoon of flour, and when I got that worked in, it was still a little bit too sticky for me. If you can see the texture of the dough, it's sticking to the bottom of the bowl a little bit. Just add 1 tablespoon at a time of flour. And for me, it took 2 extra tablespoons of flour that day. It kind of depends on the weather and a bunch of different factors. Yeah, that's what mine needed. And you're not really going to have to knead this dough. That's one of the nice things about this recipe is you basically just punch it down 10, maybe 15 times and turn it over like you see me doing here. And that's all there is to it. So if you can tell, it's tacky but not sticky. It's not sticking to my fingers. All right, now you can cover that and put it in a warm place. I ended up putting that into my oven with just the light bulb on, and I left it for an hour and a half, and it about doubled in size. Okay, so it's ready to be shaped into rolls at this point. So I got out a little dish and I'm oiling my dish. Now you could spray it if you wanted to. You could rub some butter on that, like whatever you want to do, just so your dish is prepared with some sort of oil so it doesn't stick. All right, and then you can just divide your dough into little kind of ping pong sized balls. I ended up, I think, with 10. So I split my dough in half and then I tore each of those halves 4 different times to make 5 balls each. So I ended up with 10. In order to shape my rolls, what I like to do is I like to smooth the tops by tucking the dough over the sides and kind of making a little, almost like a little coin purse at the bottom. I stretch that dough over the top and tuck it under the bottom, gathering of dough at the bottom, I guess. And then anyway, that's all you do. You shape your rolls, cover them again, let them rest for another 30 minutes, and they're going to rise just a little bit. But this is the awesome part of this recipe, is we're going to par bake those, meaning partially bake those. So I put them in the oven at 250 degrees, y'all. That's low. And then I cooked them for half an hour. So that's kind of slow. So low and slow, 250 for 30 minutes. And then you have these really pale, see, they're not browned at all. They're very pale and they're not quite done, but almost done, okay? And then you take those out, let them cool in the pan a little bit. I ended up putting them on that wire rack until they were completely cooled. And then I put those into a freezer bag. And at this point in time, you can freeze them for up to 3 to 4 months. And the cool thing is whenever you are ready for rolls, fresh, hot rolls, you can bake these up straight from frozen into the oven, okay? So I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And if you can tell, these rolls are frozen solid. There's no need to thaw. You put the frozen bread dough into a prepared dish. I've got some melted butter in mine. You might have to play Tetris if you're going to get all of them in there. But y'all, you could make 2 rolls, you could bake 4 rolls, or you could bake all of them. It's totally up to you. All they have to do is bake for 10 minutes in a 400-degree oven. And then you're going to have piping hot, fresh baked potato rolls. And y'all, it happens in 10 minutes. It's just the most amazing thing. I've brushed mine with some butter because, everything's better with butter. They are ready to serve at this point. So I think this recipe is so cool. It's ideal for something like Thanksgiving or a holiday meal where you want fresh rolls, but you don't want to have to mess with homemade rolls while you're doing everything else. This recipe allows you to get everything done ahead of time. And then literally when everything else is ready, put your oven to 400 degrees, call everybody and say, guys, let's go, let's eat. And stick those rolls in the oven. 10 minutes later, you will have fresh, hot rolls that are so delicious, so tender, so moist. I mean, just look at that dough. I hope you can tell from the video, they are so tender. And y'all, they taste amazing. I love how the outside of the bread gets nice and toasty. I did 5 minutes on the middle rack of my oven, and then I ended up moving it to the bottom rack for the last 5 minutes. A total of 10 minutes at 400. That's all you need. These rolls are mostly done already, and so you can take them straight from the freezer, frozen dough, and then they will be ready, piping hot, perfect in 10 minutes. It's so awesome. And it's just really so convenient that you can do this kind of thing at the very end, right before you serve your holiday meal. They're just so convenient. I hope this is helpful to you. This par bake technique here, you can use this with my other yeast roll recipes. It doesn't have to be a potato roll. I will link to my other yeast roll recipe below in case you want to use that dough instead of this dough. There's something really special about homemade bread. It's so nice to have. And this makes it really doable. All right, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Be sure to check out the Freeze Dried Foodies Amazon store. I always link to that in my description box. If you have any Black Friday shopping to do, I would ask, if you don't mind, just click on my shop from the description box. Just go ahead and click on to Amazon from my shop, and then, look and see what I have. If it's not of interest to you, you can just continue shopping from there. And I'm telling you, every click helps my channel. So I would really appreciate that. That would really help me out. I will also include links to my cookbooks. I have 2 full cookbooks out. They're available in paperback form on Amazon and in digital form on my website. I'll link to all that below. I also have a cookbooklet for those of you who don't really want an entire cookbook of meals in jars and you just are interested in soups. I've got a soups cookbooklet. And what I've done is I've taken all of my recipes from both of my cookbooks plus a few extras, and I've made them into a soups cookbooklet, and that is available in digital form. I will include the link to that in the description box as well. All right, y'all, I have a verse of the day for you. It is Psalm 100, verse 4, and it reads, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name." Amen. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We do have so much to be thankful for, don't we? And I am thankful for you. Thank y'all so much for your support through the years. It means the world. All right, guys, God bless you. Have a wonderful week. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.